Mexicans are Hebrew Israelites from the tribe of Issachar. I want to give all the honor, glory, and praises to YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, RAWACHAA, QADASH. Double honors to my elders at Great Millstone, taught me this truth through the Spirit. Singing honors to the elect. Peace and blessings be to all the sincere men, women, and children. Do consist of the 1/3, and to the confusion of faces in the four corners of the earth. Shalom, shalom. I'm going to get right into it. I don't want to make this long, but this is pretty much like an extension of my video about John 10 and 16, sheep that are not of this fold. So, nomen est omen, right? That's a Latin phrase, and I'm going to read it right here in this description. In ancient Rome, the predictive power of a person's name was captured by the Latin proverb nomen est omen, meaning the name is a sign. Hence, Jacob, YAHAWAH, means supplant. And did not he supplant Esau to get his blessing, right? So names have meaning, pretty much. So when you go into the word Issachar, Yashashakar is how it's pronounced in the Hebrew, meaning loosely translated, meaning he is hired. He is hired, right? So when you go into Genesis 30, verse 14 through 18, you're going to understand how he got his name, Issachar, the so-called Mexicans today, our brothers and sisters. And Reuben went in the days of wheat harvest and found mandrakes in the field. All right, that's a mandrake. And brought them unto his mother Leah. Then Rachel said to Leah, give me, I pray thee, of thy son's mandrakes. And she said unto her, is it a small matter that thou hast taken my husband? And wouldest thou take away my son's mandrakes also? And Rachel said, therefore he shall lie with thee tonight for thy son's mandrakes. So understand this. For one, women in times of antiquity knew that men who could afford it or was blessed to have more than one woman that he can take care of. Hence, Rachel and Leah were given unto who? Jacob. Right? And Jacob, like we all have favorites in some form of way in life. Jacob loved Rachel more than Leah, right? Because the scripture says that Rachel was more comely, but Leah was more hard to look on, so to say, right? So even the Lord knows that there's a difference in beauty, right? Anyhow, getting back to the point. So Rachel wanted Leah's mandrakes, and Leah was like, how much more is it that you take my husband from me, meaning that he like you more than me? She said, give me the mandrakes and he will sleep with you tonight. So think about this, ladies, and the brothers, of course. This is really who this for. She wanted to be with Jacob that night that he was hired as prostitution. I'm loosely translating what I'm saying though, but she pretty much said, here, you get these mandrakes and then I get to lay down with Jacob. So anyhow, let's get back to it. Verse 16, Jacob came out of the field in the evening, and Leah went out to meet him and said, listen to what she said to him, thou must come in unto me, for surely I have hired thee with my son's mandrakes. And he lay with her that night. Hired, right? And God hearkened unto Leah, and she conceived, and bare Jacob the 5th son. And Leah said, God hath given me my hire. I'm going to have to change the title. Because I have given my maiden to my husband. And she called his name Issachar or Yashashakar. So Jacob was hired. And hence the name Yashashakar. He is hired. Now let's go into the prophecies. Genesis 49:14 through 15. This is what Jacob said shall befall the 12 tribes at the end of the last days. Issachar is a strong ass couching down between two burdens. So this is symbolic. The so-called Mexicans today, this is what shall befall them in these last days. This will give you a definitive nature of who they are. Me personally, I love my people, I hate their ways, because we're in the curses, right? So I love the Israelites, but I just hate their ways. But man, I have a very soft spot for Issachar. I just love Issachar. I just love Issachar to death, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, every time I run into Issachar on this side, they just show me mad love. Like, it's one Issachar right I went to the gym with the other day. It's like he don't talk to nobody. He's so quiet. But with me, he's like, yo, bro, you should come to me in Mexico. I'll show you around. You'll be safe. Like, he treat me like family, and also Ephraim at my job. It's just Northern Kingdom in general. But nonetheless, though, Issachar is a hard freaking worker. I heard Issachar say they work like 12, 16-hour days, go home, eat a little bit, sleep, and do it all over again. They say sometimes they work like 3 days, not 3 days, 3 weeks straight of like 10, 12 plus hour days and stuff, man. And then still have enough time for the fiesta, right? But anyhow, and the ass is also known as a donkey, right? Or like a mule, either way. And you can see there are loads on each side. That's symbolic to Issachar, a very strong uh, um person, individual when it comes to like hard labor, you know. But what's the word they see? Trabajador, trabajadora, if I'm not mistaken, like hard working, you know. So and also symbolic to the ass between two Burtons, we can look at it today. Look at where Mexico was also placed. It's between the border of the United States and the border of Guatemala and Belize. And most people that try to get into the United States have to come through where? From the south of the border, they have to come through Mexico. Yeah. So that's stuck between the burden of people trying to get into Mexico and people trying to get out of Mexico going into the United States. And a lot of these caravans of people walking thousands and thousands of miles, why won't you ask yourselves, why are they people walking thousands and thousands of miles from their indigenous homes to come and be in America? Because America is causing coups down there that's destroying their habitats that they have no choice but to come here. Why do you think all these immigrants are coming to America? You think it's by choice? By some coincidence? No. They want to bring the immigrants here so that when there becomes a quote unquote lawless society, hence ordo ab chaos, we have to track everyone. So we have to put something inside of everyone to digitally track them. I'm not saying that's what's happening. I'm just spiritually speculating. That's a series I should start. Anyhow, so Issachar is a strong ass catching down between two Burtons. Now I like this one right here. Check this out. Verse 15. And he saw that rest was good in the land, that it was pleasant. About his shoulder to bear, it became a servant unto tribute. So this one is heavy. Now it says he saw that rest was good. That's something known as siesta. A rest or sleep taken after lunch, especially in hot countries. I remember in my younger years, being a young lion, having miscellaneous jobs here and there. I worked for this one company that used to, they used to cut commercial, yards and stuff like that, like for businesses and stuff like that, right? Or for like condominiums or whatever, right? And there was this Issacharite that used to drive the truck. Issachar was just so goddamn funny, man, so cool, just always so jovial, always positive. But one thing I noticed though about the Issacharites, because it was Issachar that drove the truck mainly, but the Issacharites, when it was lunchtime, you would see they didn't even have to talk. They would always just walk to the truck. They always get their food. They eat. After they done eating and drinking, they'll find a nice little shade, and they'll put their hat over their head. They put their head on something soft, or they'll lean up against a tree or lean up against a building, and they'll take them like a nice 30-minute nap, 45-minute nap, depending on how long they were eating or whatever. I always did it, and it never really, I'm like, what the hell? I don't, all right, I'm gonna take me a nap too. But then come to find out, it's also a symbol of another prophecy of Issachar. They known for taking their siestas, man. Always, so that's another one. Also, in the land that is was pleasant and bowed his shoulder to bear, it became a servant unto tribute. A servant unto tribute. Meaning, remember, Leah did purchase Jacob. But it's also the essence of Issachar. They being hard workers. They are always hard workers. Right? When I hear Edom and all the other people in America talking about, oh, they're gonna come and take all our jobs. It's not like you standing up in line to work those hard, laborious jobs, pouring cement, laying pavement, cutting down trees, cutting whole feet. Y'all ain't out there doing that. You know you're not out there doing that. Stop it. You know, I'm a tire tech. It's all Jake back there. You got Benjamin back there. You got Ephraim back there. You got God dang it, Asher back there. Judah back there. And you got one Edomite looking, I don't know, I think he white chocolate. He like the grunt of the group. And he the smallest one too. But he ready to pop off like a black cat. But it's mainly all Jakes back there doing that hard labor, throwing them tires and putting them batteries on. Yeah, calm down. Anyhow, also another trait of the so-called Mexicans, the Issacharites, Yashashakar, is the poncho and the fringes at the bottom. All right? But before I go any further, if you really want to understand the origin of the ponchos, it didn't originate with Issachar. It originated with Issachar's brother Naphtali. Naphtali, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, Naphtali would be Chile, Argentina, Peru, that area, Uruguay. That would be Naphtali. The Andes, up in the Andes, they created a poncho. But it still goes back to our Northern Kingdom brothers and sisters because Issachar took it on too. Because before they got these Spanish names, they was known as the Taino and the Arawak Indians. And if you want to go even more in depth, going back to Shalmaneser around 722 BC, they will also be known as the Incas, the Aztecs, and the Mayans. The Olmecs were the Hamites that was coming here during the time that the ships of Tarshish was coming to and fro from this area when King Solomon was ruling. But like the elders say, you must know the history in order to know the mystery. So let me close out with this last precept. When you read, when you read Numbers 15, start at like 15 and 33 so you can get a better understanding of the fringes in the border of blue, because there was a man during the Sabbath that was just literally picking up sticks. Like when you was a kid, you go outside, pick up a stick. You got stoned to death for that. Because you're not supposed to do no survival work on the Sabbath. So the Lord show mercy unto us today, because all of us can't take the Sabbath off who believe. We got to work. So, the water YAHAWASHI for mercy and grace. Anyhow, Numbers 15:37 through 40, and I'm going to close out. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and bid them that they make them fringes in the borders of their garments throughout their generations, and that they put upon the fringe of the borders a ribbon of blue. And it shall be unto you for a fringe, that they may look upon it and remember all the commandments of the Lord and do them, and that ye seek not after your own heart and your own eyes, after which ye used to go a whoring, that ye may remember and do all my commandments and be holy unto your God. So, with that being said, all honor, glory, and praises to Yahawah, Bahashem, Yahawashi, Bahashem, RAWACHAA, QADASH, the water for the RAWACHAA, QADASH, and giving us the light to maneuver and to guide us through all of this darkness that's seeping in around us. But nonetheless, this so-called Negro Latinos and Native Americans are Hebrew Israelites, and if the Lord continue to put the Spirit on me, which I pray He does, I'll continue to bring out more evidence to prove that the so-called Spanish-speaking brothers and sisters and the Native Americans are also Hebrew Israelites because my father is a Judahite and my mother is a Reubenite. Shalom.